Dancers. I'm your host, Smart Hopewell. Welcome to Fort Tarsis Radio. This is a audio podcast companion to the RPG game Anthem. And if you've never heard of Anthem before, let me just give you a brief synopsis of the storyline, if you will. So basically it starts off like this. Upon an unfinished world, humanity struggles to survive a savage environment full of diverse threats. Equipped with the incredible Javelin exosuits, a faction known as the Freelancers seeks to tip the balance in mankind's favor. In the beginning, the gods harnessed the Anthem, a source of pure creation. Wondrous lands erupted into existence. Colossal beasts, creatures, and monsters emerged. But before their work was complete, they vanished, leaving behind an unfinished world strewn with the instruments of their creation. If you ask me, Anthem is sounding amazing. Now, Anthem is being developed by BioWare, which most of you guys may know them from the Mass Effect series. Whether you like it or not, Mass Effect is amazing. I personally had never played the games until about maybe a year and a half ago when I had heard about Mass Effect Andromeda. So I played the first games and absolutely loved the story, played Andromeda. I enjoyed it, though I had some things to say about Andromeda, which was really just the fact that I was like, if I wanted to play with a friend, I would have liked to have been able to play. But here we are in 2019 and we have Anthem coming out and it's super exciting. So I just wanted to do a quick run through of some of the things that we can expect to be in Anthem. So we know there's going to be classes. There are 4 classes right now. There is the Ranger, there is the Storm, there is the Colossus, and then there's also the Interceptor. Now, many people have asked the devs, Ben Irving, and also many of the other devs like Michael, about the possibility of there being other classes in the future. Now, they said not at launch, and what I hope is that in the future there'll be classes to play. I think that with the current classes they have right now, all 4 of them, there's so much potential in terms of what could be done with those classes in order to make them, I guess, stronger or more versatile on the battlefield. I know obviously we have the Ranger, which is kind of like a jack of all trades, if you want to look at it that way. If you were going to compare, if you had to any other game, I'd probably compare the Ranger to the likes of like Excalibur, in terms of a frame that is good at multiple types of things from all the other 3 classes. So he has some type of CC ability, he has some kind of defensive ability, and then he has some sort of buff ability, whether it be boosting health or boosting damage or whatever it is that you want to look at it. So each of the 4 classes in Anthem, you can specialize in different ways. So there's almost going to be like subclasses within a class, and I absolutely adore the idea of having subclasses, and it is a system that is heavily underutilized in so many MMORPGs or RPGs or MMOs or action MMORPGs, whatever description you want to give it. And so that's something to get excited about and really look forward to. Also, gear. Gear is going to be a huge thing in Anthem, and most of the gear, I believe, is to do with weapons, though I would expect some sort of like maybe power energy drops to increase the output of your Javelin. We know that there's going to be boosts to the amount of DPS you can do, so you'll have a lot of upscaling and downscaling, if that's the right terminology to use. Basically what that means is that certain weapons or certain weapon mods, if you're familiar with modding systems, you'll be able to compensate for different things. So you'll be able to either boost range or boost damage or boost stability, because some weapons tend to have recoil and all of those kinds of things within the world of Anthem. So that's something that we can get excited about and really look forward to. We've had exclusives already from BioWare, and they've shown us, they've basically done a breakdown of what's going to be coming for Anthem, for people who are either new players or people who just want to know what is Anthem in a snapshot. And what I like that BioWare have done with this franchise, with this game, is they have I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's made by EA, I don't want to play it. And the developers have said nothing but not at launch, not at launch, not at launch. But to be honest, when you take the storyline of Anthem and you basically, you say that it was a world created that is unfinished, I think that allows the developers to have a flexibility in terms of what the eventual end product of Anthem will be. So, and the good thing about this is, although it's not like a quote unquote beta, we're gonna get demos. I think it gives room for them to have an ongoing progress. It gives them room to be able to also have a development timeline in the future, whether it be near future or long-term future. But it gives them a chance to kind of play around and add in content that's really going to solidify the universe of Anthem. I remember talking to some people from the Anthem community, shout out to those guys, and I mentioned the game Firefall. If any of you remember that game, that was an amazing, ambitious game. Also, it was open world and it was all about bringing hundreds of players together. Now, whilst BioWare haven't exclusively said anything about the ability to add several people in one area within the map at a time, I have asked Michael Gamble the question, will there be, open world events where there's more than 4 people participating in it? And he said not at launch. So a lot of people will say that's not confirmation, but for me, that's at least a flicker of hope that they are considering that kind of gameplay in the near future. And I think it's going to be super exciting when you have, say, like 20 people in javelins in one place at a time. And the good thing about this map is it enables you to, maybe you can limit the amount of people in a particular map area at any time. So say there's an event happening in this region, the max amount of people who can attend that event is like 20, and I can see lots of people probably complaining, saying, no, don't do that kind of thing, because then it limits participation, and it limits what people can do. So, but I think if it's a numbered locked event in a region, so it's kind of like maybe it casts some kind of bubble, so maybe you can see the event happening from the outside, but you can't engage with it. So maybe that's an idea. I don't know if BioWare will ever see this, but if you stuck around for the last 10 minutes, thank you for listening to Fort Tarsis Radio. Looking forward to so much more coming in this week, actually, Friday. So Friday the 25th is the start of the second demo, I want to say. At least it's the first demo for me. So I'll be checking that out, doing a podcast, giving my thoughts and letting you guys know what I think of Anthem. Also, if you're interested in subscribing, you can follow this podcast on Anchor. It's an Anchor podcast because I think it's a great platform. It's free, simple, easy to use. I didn't get paid to advertise Anchor, but I'm just doing it anyway because I believe in the platform. So yeah, if you like what you heard, tune in. If you like what you heard by watching it on YouTube, because there'll be a video format of this, definitely hit the subscribe button and follow. And I will see you freelancers in the wild. God bless. Peace.